Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. This is my final in season 1, final review of Sandman, a very perplexing and generally speaking rather good TV show. But it is generally quite perplexing in that it's very good, and also now, is it woke, right? Is it woke is the real question. The people who like wokeness will often say, well, what does woke mean? It's just a meaning term you're making up to say you don't like it because you don't like black people. That's essentially how the conversation normally goes. No, woke is the, and I say this on all my reviews now because it needs a definition. It is the platforming of normally very unpopular sociological ideas on an existing franchise that is already popular. Normally, these the unpopular ideas are also intermingled with universally accepted ideas, right? And so if you say you don't like the unpopular idea, I don't think children should castrate themselves. I just don't think that's a good idea. Maybe they should wait till they're 18 before they melt their bollocks off. I don't know. That's just my opinion. To which they will conflate it by going, you don't like black people. Well, that's essentially what woke is. Now, another tenet of being woke is normally the thing drops in quality breathtakingly. Doctor Who, prime example, right? Jodie Whittaker. Everybody who said they liked Jodie Whittaker, all these actors, well, Jodie Whittaker, she's what a wonderful Jodie. I challenge you, anybody who is an actor who actually cares about acting, try and watch one of her episodes and go, oh, she did a good job. And say that honestly, I'll be impressed. The scripts are awful. That's normally what woke is. So here, we don't have that at all. We have the scripts being, generally speaking, excellent and coming right out of the original Sandman comic very, very well. It's an absolutely perfect adaptation. Apart from the woke elements, right? So this story, which is, again, I'm doing this in one video because it's the first story arc. It was very episodic, right? You could do episode to episode to episode, and you got different bits, different things going on, and so you had to review them in small clumps. This is one narrative. And boy, again, it's really great, apart from the wokeness, right? So the story revolves around a character who fell asleep about 100 years earlier because in the first story arc, Sandman was kidnapped and held in a giant goldfish bowl, as one is, and then she wakes up. So what's weird about that? Well, she's from a well-to-do English family, with servants, upper classy, upper middle class or lower upper class English family. What's a bit jarring about it that pulls me out of the narrative every freaking time is that they're black, right? You just didn't have many families at the turn of the century or wherever it was, who were well-to-do with servants who lived in England who were black. You may have had some, right? You may have had some, but not bloody many, right? So it just seems to be, it would be an issue that they're black. That would be a plot point. But no, they just want to ignore it. And the reason they're doing that is because they think people like me just can't stop hating people because they're black, right? We would like to, but we have unconscious bias. We can't help ourselves, but we may be able to help the future generation if we just rewrite history in this really strange way and go forward that way and pretend like there wasn't racism in the past. It doesn't work, right? It just doesn't work. So this character in it is old in this episode, and every time I frickin' see her, I go, oh, we're in 2022, right? It pulls me out of the drama, pulls me out of the narrative because it's very obviously woke. It's very, very obviously that. Before we get into it in more detail, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are good things. If you disagree with me, God bless you, baby. It's good for us to disagree. I am not evil because I have a different point of view than you. I think all peoples are intrinsically equal. What I generally believe, right? So yeah, come on the channel or comment. Let me know where you disagree. That's great. That's great. We can have a conversation. Maybe we'll end up agreeing more than disagreeing. Right? Wouldn't that be fantastic? Right? I'll give you an example. About a year or so ago, I was doing a video about Captain Kirk being bisexual. Right? Now, Captain Kirk seems pretty hetero to me, right? It seems like somewhat to me the definition of hetero, right? I thought it was wrong. A bad idea to have him redefine him as being bisexual. So then a gay person gets in touch with me, not bi person, a gay person gets in touch and say, look, it's really cruel because, we have the fantasy of having sex with Captain Kirk. Or I think more Captain Kirk having sex with us. Listen, I can imagine, if you want to say Captain Kirk is going to have gay sex, fine, but he got to be a top, right? He's got to be a top. If you're gay, let me know in the comments. Yeah, I find fascinating things from the comments. I find out that a major Doctor Who gay masturbatory fantasy was Adric, right? Who was all tied up by the Master in, in the first story. Right, and this weird, this weird bondage rig. I think John Nathan Turner, the producer at the time, very much like that too. Anyway, I digress. Where was I up to? Yeah, is it woke? I don't know. It is sort of woke. So like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Yeah, we done all that. There we go. That's what I'm wrapping. Yeah. So the guy came on the channel. That's how I got to it. The guy came on the channel. We actually ended up. I heard his point, right? I heard his point. He didn't want me to be so viscerally against it because it I don't know, kind of cock-blocked him, jacking off to Captain Kirk, stripping him. I guess. We live in funny times. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are good. Sign up my Substack, sign up my pay Substack. Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about the Doll's House, which is the second story arc in Sandman. What a great adaptation. So the main character in it is Rose Walker. So here's a race swap that didn't freaking matter, right? Rose Walker, the granddaughter of this person, Unity Kincaid, is black. Didn't matter whatsoever. In fact, I think probably, if anything, looking at her brother, made it better. Now, wait a minute, I can't remember. Were they black in the comic? I really don't recall, right? I really genuinely don't recall. Again, doesn't bother me in any way, shape or form. Because that's normal, right? That doesn't pull you out the drama. The basic story is that this woman, while she was asleep, somebody fathered a baby with her, and this is the granddaughter. They could have had a black baby, it's not hard, right? That happens, right? But again, this was just weird. It was just weird. And the other example I've used a lot is when they did something similar in Carnival Row. No problem. It's an alternate world. I don't mind. But when you're doing our world, and I know our world doesn't really have dream of the endless walking around and death and things. I mean, maybe they do, but I'm not like that. We haven't seen it. But, it's based on our world, whereas Carnival Row was not based on our world, right? So, constantly pulls me out of the fiction, which otherwise is completely compelling, a wonderful recreation of the comic book. So let me go through I'm going to read the Wikipedia entries to the episodes, because again, this all kind of molded into one for me. I don't know where it started, each episode started and ended. In 2015, Rose Walker and her brother are separated when her parents divorce. In 2021, following the death of both parents, Jed is placed in a foster home system, despite Rose's attempts to locate him during and claim legal guardianship. I think in real life, she probably would have been able to. Look, they really want to get people with family members, I believe. Who knows? Everything's so corrupt. Rose is unknowingly a vortex, a being who naturally attracts and manipulates dreams. And Desire and their twin sister Despair conspire to use Rose against Morpheus. Now, again, another problem I had with race swapping Death into being black is the look of the entire Endless family is very white, very pale, very white, and Death. It just doesn't really work. I mean, the actress does a good job and she is convincing in the role. I really want to be clear about that. But again, I'm looking at Neil Gaiman's and the entertainment industry's complete psychosis, right? And I want to watch. I want to enjoy a fiction. I don't want to, watch their mental breakdowns, which is what this bloody is. Having said that, again, look, desire is trans in this, and this was back from the comic book. This is organic. This works. This is fantastic, right? I can't remember. I don't know the actor who played actress. I don't know how they identify. I don't know the person who plays them. Knocks it out the park, as with Despair as well. Although somebody was mad that they were fat, right? Somebody said, it's terrible. And Neil Gaiman had to defend that. I mean, come on. So they want to use Rose against Morpheus. Aware of Rose's nature, Morpheus plans to use her to track down 3 errant residents of the Dreaming who are still at large. Oh, yeah, so they're missing... a new, I don't remember this nightmare was in the comic book. They're missing Corinthian, who's been the big bad of the season, and Fiddler's Green, who we're going to meet soon, who's wonderful, right? Again, so much about this is just absolutely wonderful. And Fiddler's Green ended up being played by Stephen Fry. Why not, I don't know, what's his name? Morgan Freeman, right? That's a dream. That's okay. That works. That's not my problem with this stuff. There's so little thought put into it, right? There's, let's make him black, and so we can appear not to be racist, even though we are super racist. So I like that Morpheus wants to use this vortex. You get to see his coldness and his aloofness, and it's kind of dickishness, which kind of softens as the run goes on. Right, but you get to see all that, and I like that. I think that works a lot. That worked very well. Where are we up to? Rose and her friend Lyta Hall travel to England to meet Unity Kincaid, a wealthy recovered victim of sleeping sickness. Unity reveals that she is Rose's biological grandmother. And here's the point, right? You actually, if they made her white, you would actually had a very poignant thing to say about the absurdity of racism, right? You have a black grandmother, a white grandmother, a black daughter, a black granddaughter, and they bond and they love each other and they connect instantly, and their skin doesn't bloody matter, right? Wouldn't that be a wonderful world? We lived in a world where skin color didn't matter. I used to live in that world, right? That's where we were 10 years ago. What happened to that, right? What happened to that? Unity offers some fun. Rose's search for Jed, and Rose and Lyta fly to Florida. Unable to locate Jed in either the dreaming or the waking world, Lucian and Morpheus deduce the rogue dream. Galt has severed Jed's consciousness from the dreaming. Rose approaches Lucian and Morpheus in the dreaming for assistance. That was actually a good scene, right? Okay, she doesn't release her own power, and all of a sudden, boom, she's in the throne room of the King of Dreams, right? Lucian isn't very good in this. Like, another race swap character, but she's really wearing like this hand-me-down character. The other example of where it worked was Jenna Coleman, right? Really, really knocked out of the park as Constantine. Rose approached for assistance in the dreaming, finding Jed. Meanwhile, Corinthian hunting Rose is invited. Oh yes, this is a fantastic subplot. Invited as a guest of honor at a serial killer convention. Pulled right out the comic. Perfect, right? Really, really perfect. I love these serial killers. They were super creepy. It really worked, right? It really, really worked. But sadly, the episode ended, right? But they carry on. So that's episode 7, the Doll's House. Episode 8, and I do like there's a bit of a change in energy from the early episodes. A lot was directed by Jamie Childs. Now it's they've had a few different directors, and I think it's improved for it. Sound of the Rings was Marizy Almus, and now these episodes are directed by Andre Baez, right? Doing a fine job. So episode 8, Playing House. Despite Lucian's process, Morpheus agrees to help Rose locate Jed. During the day, Rose and the other guests at the bed and breakfast. Oh, I love the denizens of the bed and breakfast. Again, pulled directly from the comic book and realized perfectly, right? Absolutely perfectly. You got the and I just assumed when I read it these were weird escapees from the dreaming. That would make sense. But they were just weird, right? And they never explained how you have all these weird people in one place. Yeah, so I got to read the comic book again. It just seemed to me that they were errant dreams, that they're all in this house. Rose and the other guests at the bread and breakfast post signs around Cape Kennedy, which attracts the attention of the Corinthian. That night, Morpheus and Rose travel through the dreams of the guests, eventually crossing into Jed's dreams, which Galt has manipulated to provide a powerful emotional escape from Jed's abusive foster father. Again, perfectly realized, right? If you had some kind of machine, so a beam that can like fire at a comic book and make it real, that's what it looks like. It really does. It's absolutely incredible. And also, I found the whole foster family plot arc very credible, right? Very compelling, very credible, very disturbing, right? And within the show with lots of disturbing things. Morpheus rebukes and punishes Galt for stepping outside her duties, though Galt maintains that she disobeyed only because she believed that it was in Jed's best interest. Oh yeah, so yeah, we get this nice idea of growth and change, that everything is capable of growth and change, which I like a lot, right? I think that's kind of a central message of life. It's a good message that one should focus on, I think. Meanwhile, Lita seemingly reunites with her deceased husband Hector in the dreaming. Yeah, all these scenes are fantastic as well, right? How it becomes real to them, right? It actually becomes, how it becomes like the dreaming becomes a as real as the tangible world to her, and much more so as it goes on. Hector attempts to convince Lita to stay in the dreaming and have a baby with him. When Lita wakes up, she's visibly pregnant. Yeah, well, she doesn't convince him to have a baby. They have lots of sex. They have lots of sex, and she wakes up pregnant. I thought that was great, right? Another really good, clever idea, right? That's been taken way too long to make it into other medium. The Corinthian locates Jed and murders the foster parents, kidnapping Jed to lure Rose to the serial killer convention. And there's got, I'd say the Corinthian, a really great villain, a really fantastic, great villain. And I hope this show they do a bunch of seasons. I hope the next season isn't a story arc. I hope it's like all the individual episodes. I love those individual stories. But he does come back, spoiler alert, for the last arc or the one beforehand, so we will see him again after this season. But yeah, fantastic. Like his portrayal of like this relaxed menace, this relaxed, very charming menace is very compelling. I haven't seen him in anything else, but he's great in this. So he's got Jed. He's taken to a serial killer convention, and it's very tense because you know how murderous and insane he is. At the same time, you think, does he want to keep him alive, or does he want to eat him, or does he go like, what's going to happen, right? What's going to happen? So that was the end of episode 8, Playing House. Episode 9, Collectors. Again, I love the serial killers, right? Especially the one Funland, who seems to be somebody based on a serial molester in Disneyland, which I think that there is, or there was. I think that actually it was based on something in real life. Very disturbingly so. And so I like it when Corinthian shows up with this little boy, and they're like, and he's like, you don't touch, mate. Don't touch. Lucian and Matthew did. Matthew is the Raven. What's the name of the actor? I can't stand him. He's again very politically active and hateful, right? So every time I see him in anything, I'm like, oh, leave me alone. Lucy and Matthew deduce that the Lita's pregnancy is a result of Rose's increasing power, which threatens to break the barriers between the dreaming and the waking world. in the comic book, that when she was a vortex, it was like she was going to break all the barriers between each person's individual dreams. I believe that happens. Yeah, I think this issue. The Corinthian calls Rose with Jed sharing their location at the Serial Convention. Rose travels to the hotel to meet them, accompanied by Gilbert. Oh, right. So he was introduced a couple of episodes earlier, played by Stephen Fry. The perfect casting for Fiddler's Green, right? I mean, he basically didn't have to do anything. He just had to be Stephen Fry, and then he was Fiddler's Green. I mean, that really knocked it out of the park as well. And Southside Gentleman. Leiter continues to meet Hector in the dream, and she finds that her pregnancy is advancing at a rapid rate. Morpheus noticed the increasing damage to the dreaming, which Lucian attributes to Rose, though Morpheus is unsure of her theory. And I like the coldness of Morpheus in this. I think it really, again, that's something we have from the comic book a lot, and it's very, very faithfully transmitted over to this adaptation. Morton finds Leiter and Hector in the dreaming. Oh, they didn't talk in these flashbacks about the. In the comic, it was these two demons, these two nightmares called Brute and Globe, I think, who had convinced Jed that he was a superhero in the dream. And again, all of that stuff perfectly played out. All right, perfectly played out. Morpheus notices the damage to the dreaming, with which Lucian attributes to Rose. He's not sure. Morpheus finds Leiter and Hector in the dreaming and realizes the vortex has allowed Hector's spirit to inhabit the dreaming in lieu of passing on to the afterlife. Yeah, that was a great idea. That was really a great idea. But you get this wonderful coldness from Morpheus in this point. Morpheus banishes Hector from the dreaming, assumingly to the afterlife, and informs Leiter that the unborn child will one day belong to him. Yeah, that'll be the final season. Searching for one day belong to him as it was conceived in the dreaming. Rose and Gilbert arrive at the hotel and search for Jed. While searching, the Corinthian and Gilbert recognize each other, causing Gilbert to flee to the dreaming, where he is revealed to be the personification of Fiddler's Green. Yeah, he's basically a giant, very nice pastoral place to hang out. I would like to hang out there, quite frankly. One of the other rogue dreaming residents, Gilbert relays the Corinthian and Rose's location to Morpheus. So that sets the scene for the final episode, which basically just wraps everything up in one very nice, neat bow, making me excited for the next season. I did it get renewed yet? I think it did, right? I know Gaiman got a sequel already, which is also pretty darn good on Netflix. Morpheus interrupts the Corinthians' keynote speech to the serial killer convention. Yeah, I love his wry bemusement about everything. Like, really? You want me to give a keynote speech? And in his speech, he's basically saying, I am your inventor, right? I am the nightmare that inspired you all. Which is an interesting idea. But the Corinthians shows Morpheus that Rose's power enables him to defend himself against his creator. Morpheus informs Rose of the great danger she possesses to the waking world, prompting Rose to temporarily restore the dreaming and allow Morpheus to unmake the Corinthians. Great little scene, right? Great little scene where he's finally taken down and is reduced to like a skull with like teeth in his eyes at the same time. Yeah, great little scene, which he then keeps later. Again, we'll be seeing this in the last season. Morpheus pushes the convention attendees with punishes the eventual attendees with removing them of their self-justifications and their dreams, right, of why they're not awful people, right? And they all leave broken and suicidal. Some do commit suicide. Really dark, really clever, really great, right? I think that's a good way to describe it. And allowing Rose and Jed to leave unharmed. That night, Rose confronts Morpheus in the dreaming. Rose is ready to sacrifice herself to save her friends and her brother, but Unity, her mother, shows up. Again, it's like a needle on a vinyl. Scratching. What's going on? Like whipping you out of the narrative, right? And she said, "Look, I should have been the vortex." And you have a great thing where she reaches inside herself and pulls out this heart, this vortex heart, and puts it, and Rose puts it in herself, essentially become the vortex. She's old, she can die, she can move on. we had a great little bit of exposition where you find out that this was a long-term plot by Desire and Despair, because she fathered the was it Unita's mother, as a plot to destabilize, to control the vortex, and to kill, I think, to eventually to wipe out Dream. Where are we up to? Allowing Morpheus to enter life. Morpheus realized that Dream impregnated Unity to pass the vortex and sentence in an attempt to have Morpheus spill family blood. Oh, yeah, I forgot about it. Clever thing. And then you have a great conversation at the end. Morpheus confronts Desire, warning them against any further schemes. Doesn't really take, right? Doesn't. They're like, oh, okay, we won't do anything for now. Doesn't really take. Morpheus remakes Gold as a dream as opposed to a nightmare, saying this indicating like a moving on for the character, a growth for the character, and it's microscopic, but I really like it. Right, I like how you're taken from like this. You introduce him and he's powerless, right, and he's lost everything, and he's to him regaining himself, and then regaining himself to the point where he regains his regal arrogance, right? And now we're at the point where he starts to grow out of that, really, which is really great. So in the waking world, later give birth to a son. Again, we'll seeing him in the last season. Moves in with Rose, Jed, and Hal back to New Jersey, who was the landlord after being reproached by the Dukes of Hell for letting Morpheus hand her off. By the way, this is a gender swap. And again, great. Gwendolyn Christie could totally bring it. Lucifer Pons' revenge on Morpheus. Dun dun dun. Heavily signaling we're going to get more Sandman. Fantastic. My only hope is, can they delay it long enough that this era of woke can just end, right? Just end the era of woke. Because all it's doing, it's not helping, right? It's not making us go, oh, black people are people too. We all know that. Everybody believes that, right? We just don't believe that little boys should be given chemicals to melt their bollocks, okay? They're two different things, right? When the era of woke ends, I think by this time next year, it will be over. Oh, please. Thankfully so. Can they just wait a year or so? That's all. I think they're doing that with James Bond, right? Why haven't they announced a casting for a new James Bond? Hopefully they wait another year or so, right? Because otherwise it's got to be a black lesbian, right? That's the only way they can go. Because that's the entertainment industry for you. So there you go. That was Sandman season 1. Surprisingly good. Surprisingly very, very, very good. If only Neil Gaiman and Netflix weren't infected with this disease of white guilt, it would have been excellent. Sadly, not to be the case. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.